Hello, for more come takes invest. We're talking about investing, finance, and professional development for today's items only. The investment gun talk today would be Timothy Teach. First, I want to say happy Wednesday, everybody. With a great week so far. With respect to recording time of 9:08 a.m. on the Eastern time, Ethereum currently $3,932, up about 2.26% so far. With respect to overall altcoin market, it seems like it's relatively up today. With respect to the drag effect, that is mainly driven by the Bitcoin ETF that occurred yesterday on the debut on the New York Stock Exchange. And right now, Bitcoin is currently trying to attempt to reach that all-time high level, which is technically the $65,000 mark, or more precisely, the $64,950. Right, so we're technically just a couple $100 away from there. In respect to Ethereum and the other altcoin, if you may, there seems to be a lag effect, which typically, is very typical. It happens all the time that the main coins will drive first, and then subsequent days you see like the bullishness that occurs. It's more of like a momentum effect, right? And also with respect to the more prominently display on the altcoin side, Ethereum is currently up about 2.24%, while Cardano is up about 3%, Solana up about 3.14%, while polkadot's also up about close to 4% so far. Well, on the other side of the altcoin, which are smaller, like Dogecoin up about 1%, with respect to Algorand, still kind of trending on a sideways fashion with respect to recent surge. So it seems like it's trading on a different market cycle per our discussions earlier, and Shiba Inu up about 1.05%. And on top of the fact that today is a relatively large macro catalyst that's going to be expected to happen after market hours, several of the large cap stocks are expected to have their earnings call today for Q3. As you know, Tesla is expected to debut their earnings for Q3 after market hours, and we have been observing the surge that we've been sustaining. Right, Tesla has been up of close to about 45% ever since the bottom that we saw when we were hitting the crash or slight correction, right? The $524, which was technically the bottom, and subsequently reversed back up. And now it seems like we're hovering around like the $864, try to get to the all-time high again, which is technically at $900. So with respect to the technical, we know that we're relatively overbought at all fronts, and we've been dragging up exponentially because of the positive momentum that we've been hearing so far on the production numbers, and the economy slowly reviving, and the less severe case of with respect to the chip shortage that we've been sustaining so far. Seems like it's getting better, but ultimately the Tesla's calls are typically a very binary outcome. We could technically be buy the rumor, sell the news type of affectation, right? We've been percolating relatively high in the recent time frame. Now we are technically, it could be if the earnings call doesn't come out to be as optimistic or positive in comparisons to Wall Street expectation or what has been expecting already, it could technically sell off from here, which is something we have to be careful of, right? So that's a relatively large macro catalyst because of the monetary circulations that will subsequently get pulled in or pulled out, and that could technically drive some volatile into a crypto market. In addition to Tesla's earnings across a lot of stocks as well in the technology sector, and at the same time, high growth sectors and large cap are experiencing earnings in this recent time frame, right? So we also have to, watch out for the anti-collision effects from the equity side onto crypto. Right. So, with respect to the news, with respect to Ethereum, we've been collecting some news. I would say across the board is relatively, not the most substantive, but more about just a recurring regurgitation news, right? And with respect to the first one, talk about Bazinga about 2 hours ago. Bitcoin seeks new all-time high. Ethereum follows. Dogecoin down as market hold firm amid ETF optimism. So this is something that is something we have been discussing about, for quite some time now, right? The Bitcoin is surging because of the fact of the ETF, initialization that occurred yesterday, and Ethereum, and not just Ethereum, right, but multiple other altcoins are also following because of the drag effects that we've been experiencing right now, right? Which we'll dive into the technical to see the momentum on how we're trading right now. The next one is talk about on Bazinga again. Ethereum Classic provides a trade for both bulls and bears until it breaks this range. So this article is basically talking about the technical resistance level or the support level that we have If we break that level, what will be the next level that will technically leap down to? Which again, we will dive into the technical a little bit more for us to revisit what they are, basically talk about Bazinga. And then the last one, so there isn't a lot of news today, just more about regurgitation news, would be the another Bazinga news 6 hours ago. Anonymous crypto wallet moves 183 million worth of Ethereum from one wallet to another. So this is something that is a large amount, but in terms of like a relatively, speaking, comparing the overall market, it's a relatively small amount, right? 183 is a large amount, for personal holding. So definitely there are whales that are exchanging or transacting or just a one-to-one type of transfer onto the wallets, right? So that's interesting to know because of the large amount. And then the last one is something we talked about yesterday is with respect to Martha Stewart, which is the TV media star, now selling Ethereum NFT and is carving crypto punk into pumpkins. So it seems like more commercial, utilization or adoptions among celebrities for the NFT commercialization. So let's go straight into the technical analysis. So right now for Ethereum, we're basically trying to get to the next level, 4,000, right? The next technical level is basically 4,028, which was the all-time high that we have, tested a while back. And right now, the real all-time high is technically the 43,000, 4,383. So right now we're having that lag effect comparable to like Bitcoin. So let's see how that is trending right now, right? Right now we are still forming a whale back. So can we sustain this bullishness even longer? I would say we could technically. And next level will be basically above 4,000, right? And then the next after 4,000 would be where? Let's take a look at it real quick. After 4,000, we basically have like just air in above us. We are floating up, right? And by then we'll be extremely overbought. But I think, based on the historical facts, we were, technically, if you want to, really stretch it and see how the history is going to perform itself again, by the time RSI is going to get to like the close to 90, so technically we could break above all-time high if the momentum sustains, right? But do you want to test your luck right now? I don't think the logical time frame will be buying now because of the fact that we are extremely overbought and we are, this is a relatively abnormal curvature right now, and whatever goes up really, really fast comes down just as fast, right? So if you want to buy now because you want to just get with that FOMO feeling, just do so. Right, but just remember that you might see some sell-off coming because the whales will be incentivized to do so as we get to a certain level of being overbought, right? The market's telling you that most people are overbuying on a premium right now. So something you have to just like think about is this the right risk management level for yourself? For me, I think I'll just probably stay away and just hold. And as we get to even more of a outlier drastic level, I'll probably sell some of my Ethereum just to because it's a more of a risk averse thing to do, and it's the logical thing to do when it's screaming extremely overbought. That doesn't make any sense anymore to hold that, in the short term. You could probably take like a 40% profit, right, and then replenish by buying back in when it comes down to a more of a normalized level, right? So with respect to Bitcoin right now, we are surging up and away, trying to get to the all-time high, right? And you could see that extremely bought up right now. We're 82 out of 70, basically. And if we look at the historicals, right? The last time that we were surging all the way, we technically got to the 92, which is comparable to how Ethereum was trending. So something we have to be mindful that this went up really, really fast if you take a look at the green candle, right? So is this the right risk management move for us to buy now? Again, if you want to buy now because you want to get rid of the FOMO feeling, just remember that the likelihood of actually coming back down would be a lot higher as you go up even higher because we're extremely overbought. But technically, if we're going to leap up to like the 90s, right? Let's say the RSI scale is going to be like that, we're going to break all-time high very soon. And we're technically only $500 away, so very close. So definitely be careful. But it's definitely a good problem to have because you're obviously you're up right now, right? So Dogecoin is currently is being dragged up by the other markets, but obviously Dogecoin is the relatively smaller coins, and people are mainly chasing the Bitcoin and Ethereum because for the right reasons, right? because the news is mainly pumping that right now. So with respect to the Dogecoin, ideally you want to probably wait off because of the whole drag effect. It's nothing really substantive with respect to what we're surging right now. We still overbought. We're forming curvature. So ideally, just wait until the 20 and 20 cents would be a better level. Cardano up about 3% right now. We're having that lag effect. We are relatively more depleted compared to the overall market. So ideally buy the 210 or 205. And if we break that 187 would be more logical level. Solana right now, we are forming a golden cross slowly, despite being kind of overbought with the 60 out of 70. So hold off a little bit maybe. We might get up to the 175 if we have more massive bull run. As we form the cross obviously, and I think ideally test 195 close to 200 would be very logical. Wouldn't be surprising at all. XRP, we're currently up about 2.5% so far, and we are basically levitating again. We do have some platform that we formed at the 113, but ideally because of the fact that we are still in a more of a mixed signal right now, I think ideally 101, which was the dip that we bought, 93 and 88 would be a better logical level as we deplete the RSI, right? Polkadot is a relatively bearish setup. We are forming a huge well back. We are overbought right now, so ideally buy at the 33 at the bare minimum, but the 25 would be a better level. Algorand, we are forming a golden cross. We are at the normalized level of the 51, so I think ideally buying at the 160 or the 150 would be a better level. But if you buy now, it's relatively more bullish in comparisons to the other coins. And with respect to Shiba Inu, which is I see that is lagging at the moment, so you can see that we are forming a death cross and we extremely overbought. So definitely be watch out for it, because I do see some sell-off imminently coming. Especially the fact that we formed this extreme outlier curvature at the same time selling back down right now. So I think the sell-off is going to be very imminent for Shiba Inu. With respect to the risk management levels, I think these are the levels that you ideally want to be dollar cost averaging at. But this is more just my version with respect to RSI and the MACD triangulations. Feel free to use this as your reference, right? Ultimately, it's about your personal risk tolerance, right? Not everybody has the same level of tolerance or aversion. So for me personally, my move is basically I'll just sit on the side and wait and look at and hold basically. If certain coins gets to like a certain drastic or outlier level, I'll probably trim some. I'll keep you guys updated on how that's gonna be be executed going forward. But I remember, right, the rule of thumb, right? As the price gets higher, the risk increases, right? And the premium increases as well. So as the price decreases, the risk decreases, right? So something to be mindful of and keep that in mind, right? So hopefully this is helpful, and hope you guys have a good rest of the Wednesday as well. And I'll keep you updated as the day goes. Really appreciate you, and take care. Bye.